Welcome back to Game Time. As camps get underway, there's no shortage of young players hoping to get their first shot at playing time with an NBA team. But there are also players at the other end of the spectrum as well. Someone once said all things end bad, otherwise they wouldn't end. David Aldridge talked to one former NBA player who's hoping to find some good as he tries to rewrite the final chapter of his career.
During his 13 years in the NBA, Antoine Walker earned a substantial living as a star player. He made more than $100 million in salary. But all the time that Walker was playing, a clock was ticking. One that had nothing to do with what he was doing on the court. Indeed, it was Walker's decisions off the court that got him into trouble. Big gambling debts, a lavish lifestyle, and terrible business investments blew through almost all of that money. And by the time he stopped playing in 2008, Walker was nearly broke. 2 years later, at 34, Walker is trying a comeback. Not to pay the money that he owes, he says, but to get back to the game he loves. You've just been all over this summer, just working out, huh?
Yeah, kind of started like in, I went in February. I had an opportunity to go to Puerto Rico and play for about 6 or 7 weeks in Puerto Rico. In April, I called Coach Pitino, and I told him I had aspirations of getting back into the NBA, and I wanted to play and continue to play for some more years. So he invited me down and worked me out personally, for 3 months, and I was able to drop, 35 pounds down there, kind of regain my game back, get my feel back, and kind of capping it off here in Chicago at an attack with Tim Grover, who I've always been with over the last 7, 8 years.
What would you bring to a team if a team were to take a shot at you?
My veteran leadership. I was a big part of winning the championship. I think my championship experience, I've played in a ton of huge playoff games. Through trials and tribulations of being in the NBA, I think I can also be a good veteran voice in the locker room. But I also think I still can play at a very high level.
What would you now at 34 tell 24-year-old Antoine Walker?
I think it was more or less 28, Antoine Walker. I think I made a terrible decision as far as investment-wise. I think a lot of people think it's I lost my money gambling, but that's not the case. I mean, I went out into the real estate market and I personal guaranteed for 7 companies with 7 different banks, and I put basically my livelihood, my financial portfolio on the line, and like everybody else, I got caught in a recession. And me not being able to watch and manage and making a lot of money and being irresponsible and not keeping up with it, it cost me at the end of the day. I've been blessed 10 times, man. Anytime you're a young black kid from the inner city like I am, to make the money that I made, it's been a blessing. The gambling part was just a bad habit. I think I mismanaged the situation as far as dealing with the casino, as far as both of us communicating and getting it done. And they took the legal action that they could. And they tried, but they didn't realize that I had other real situations going on. The reason I'm coming back to the NBA, I think a lot of people think it's for money. Granted, the money is good, but on the opposite side, I still love the game.
The MVP of the 2008 NBA Finals is Paul Pierce.
When you saw Paul the Celtics win a couple years ago, what was going through your mind?
I was ecstatic for him. I know how bad he wants to win. And, he's gave his heart and soul to Boston. One day I know he's going to get his numbers raised in the Raptors one day there, and to be one of those, with Parrish and Bird and McHale and all them, because I understand the tradition there, and I've been there, and I understand how it is to be a Celtic.
What does this game mean to you, basketball?
It's been everything to me. I just think back to, being 6 years old and growing up to being in, high school and college. And then obviously what it's done for me and my family, it's been everything for me. I think I've left the game too early. I think I left the game not on my own merit. Yeah. If I could look myself in the mirror and say, okay, Twan, you can't play no more, then it's time to go. But at the same time, I still believe I can play and contribute and help some team out here. Today, I don't have a job, so it's going to take some convincing, and I know the negativity that swirls around me. But, you know, it's coming to an end. You know, we all move on in life. It's happened. There's nothing I can do. There's nobody I can blame but myself. And, you know, you look yourself in the mirror and you live and learn. And you try to come back from those mistakes and not make them again.